On the machine settings page, the user can set up some general settings, like time, units, special movement modes, etc. The page consists of the following areas. System time settings, where data and time can be set manually, if required. Machine settings area, where the user can choose system units and set the screw size. Parallel movements area, where movement modes for plastification, ejector and carriage can be selected. Custom control buttons area, where the user can configure a custom footer area layout. And the settings mode control, where speed and pressure of movements in settings mode can be adjusted. Starting from the top, let's now take a closer look at each of the areas. The time settings area allows the user to modify the system date and time if required. On the left we can see the current date and time, and underneath it, an input field where we can manually set it. If we click on the input field, a configuration pop-up opens, where we can then choose a date, as well as time. Once we confirm the desired values, we just need to click on the highlighted button, to apply the settings, and confirm in the dialog window. As we can see on the right, the date and time have now changed. Next, we have the machine settings area. The first drop-down lets the user select the clamping force unit. It's possible to express the clamping force in kilonewtons, bars, or tons. The second drop-down is used to select injection parameter units. Here the available options are millimeters, or cubic centimeters. Underneath the drop-down we have an input for the screw diameter. Moving on, we have the parallel movements area. Here the user can select the movement type for plastification, ejector, and carriage. If the option is available, aside from sequential plastification mode, it's also possible to plasticize in parallel to clamp opening or closing movement. The ejector can also be used sequentially, or in parallel to mold opening. In case it's used in parallel to mold opening, the input on the left of the drop-down is enabled, where the user can set at which position of mold opening the ejector movement should start. For example, if the value is set to 220 mm, once the mold is opening and reaches 220 mm the ejector movement will start. Carriage mode drop-down lets us select if the carriage movements is sequential, or, when the option is available, in parallel to mold closing. If sequential movement is selected, then the carriage moves once the mold movement is finished, as we can notice in the status bar. If however a parallel movement is selected, we can see that as the mold is closing, the carriage unit is also moving forward. Custom control buttons represent the last tab in the footer area. The layout of these buttons can be set in the custom control buttons area. A total of 6 button combinations can be selected from the 6 drop-downs in this area. The user can select between operating mode buttons, heating, basic axis movements like clamp, carriage, injection or ejector, as well as mold height controls or core movements. The last area of the page is used to control the percentage of speed and pressure of major axis movements in settings mode. The user can't set the absolute speed here, just the percentage of predefined machine limits. For example, the maximum mold close and open speed is 100 mm per second, and maximum pressure is 50 bars. First, let's switch the operating mode to settings mode. If we try to move the clamp now, we can see on the pumps that the set pressure is 50 bar, and the set speed is 135 revolutions per minute, which represents 100 mm per second. Now we can change the speed to 60%, and pressure to 50%. Once we move the clamp, we can see that our set pressure and speed have gone down proportionally. The same logic applies for other possible axis movements. We hope this video tutorial was helpful. If you have any other questions regarding machine settings page, please leave a comment below, or contact us directly through our customer service channels. Thank you, and have a nice day.